Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's CNCF TAG Environmental Sustainability Meeting. Today is Wednesday, the 20th of December. This is the last meeting, the official main TAG meeting of the year. Not sure if the working group comms has another call next week. So this is a CNCF community meeting, so it falls under CNCF Code of Conduct, which is also linked in this document, which can be summarized to be just excellent to each other. Thank you all for that. And the link to the meeting notes is in chat, so please add yourself to attendees list. And that would be great. We don't have a ton of topics, so if you have anything you would like to discuss, feel free to open the document and add your idea to the open discussion items. As always, we take some time at the beginning to greet any new members, attendees. Is there anybody who would like to introduce yourself? Mostly familiar faces. All right, then let's move to the next one, to the working group updates. Do we have someone from working group comms who would like to give an update? I think Kara is on vacation and I don't see Trisha on the call. I was not in the last working group comms meeting, so I cannot give an update. Not sure if anybody here was on the call and would like to write something in chat or just unmute yourself quickly. Doesn't seem like it. That's fine. So in the last working group comms meetings, I think we discussed the Cloud Native Sustainability Week and KubeCon. We had a special meeting about KubeCon, which was also recorded and uploaded to YouTube. So we are working on like a checklist, all the things that we would like to do. I think in the past the KubeCons were quite nice, but a little bit more like planning ahead would be helpful to make sure that folks are aware that we have like a meetup and so on and so forth. So I think this is a good idea. There were also some discussions to push for like a sidetrack or like a pre-event, sustainability pre-event. We missed the deadline to submit something, but we are trying to push this anyways. Let's see if we can make something happen. Regardless, maybe something like a sustainability. What is it? Like a special hub. I think it was like AI hub, security hub in the last KubeCons. Maybe we can have something like this at KubeCon. Not sure if they discussed in the comms working group something else. So far, so good. All right. Moving on to the next working group, green reviews. Nikki, Antonio. Antonio is not on the call. Nikki, would you like
Yeah.
to?
So so we have Flux strapped watching Falco.
I think Nikki, your connection is, at least for me, a little bit bad. I cannot hear you properly. But
Sorry.
Falco.
Sorry. For some reason, Zoom relaunched anyway.
It's way
So
better.
Falco now has a repo, and they will store the deployment manifests that we will use. We have Kepler now. We have the Flux config for Kepler in the in our repo as well, and we're still pushing for AWS access so that we can finally create the cluster. Actually, yeah, things are a little bit slow on that front, and I think now that there's holidays, it will be very slow. But those are some of the updates. I'm sure I've missed things. There's just quite a lot going on. I don't know, Ross, or if anyone else would like, Antonio is here and would like to add anything, or Leo, or anyone else.
Thanks, I could just add on the Flux side, we've got it running against the manual process, up against the manual cluster. So we're kind of making progress there. Like you were saying, Kepler was merged yesterday, which is great. So that's there. I think the next kind of priority for apps is going to be Prometheus. Well, there's a pull request working in there, but we need to configure Prometheus, fully run storage, and also run some of the permissions as well. But yeah, I think, making good progress getting the Flux set up. And then once that S3 bucket's ready, then the rest of the cluster automation is ready to go. So I think the exercise is taking a bit of time, but we're getting there.
Nice. Sounds great. Yeah, I saw Melissa opened also a bunch of issues. So that's very great to see. Probably a lot we need to work through, I guess. All right, awesome. Yeah, if the CNCF Jeffrey does not reply back, maybe ping me. I can also ping him again.
Yeah, for sure.
This one AWS S3 bucket. All right. Awesome. Any questions for working group green reviews? Do you have a meeting this year, or is this next year the next meeting?
We do have one scheduled for next week, but I wanted to post again in the channel to see if we want to make this meeting. Think, but yeah, we can discuss on the channel.
That's good. William?
Yeah.
Thanks, Leo. For Ross, I suppose. Ross, I would be interested in helping on the technical side, but I'm not sure if help is needed or if there are technical aspects that require input.
So what Nikki can add as well, but I'd say from my side, I think in terms of having everything deployed with Flux, we're getting there, we're working through it. But then the next stage would be to look at how we're going to start capturing metrics and start working on the pipeline. And I think when we look at that, then I think there'll be a lot of new tasks coming up. So
Okay.
yeah, I said this point, not anything right now, but once we have the next meeting and we start looking at how we design the pipeline, I think there'll be kind of more to do then. Nikki,
Okay.
what do you think?
Yeah, it's fine. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, we've already in the last meeting outlined everything that needs to be done next. So if you'd like to check out the notes to see that list, although we did assign folks for each point, but you could certainly pair with someone. And so on the notes you'll see which person you would reach out to.
Yeah, I was at a customer site, so I didn't have enough time to stay in the meeting. I wanted to. I will
for
have
sure.
in the minutes.
Yeah, async work for the win.
All right, sounds good. Right, for everybody who is maybe new or has not heard much about the working group, there's like a separate channel, tag and working group green reviews. So a lot of the communication also is going over this channel. So if you're interested in this more technical work. Okay, then moving on to the open discussion items. So if you would like to, I already mentioned this, but if you would like to talk about something, I'm sure we will have a little bit time at the end. Just add your ideas, topics to this list. So because this is, so for the first item, I added the first two. So because this is the last meeting of the year, probably of the tag, at least like the main call, which happens every 2 weeks. I think it's always good to just take a little bit of time and look back at all the things we did. I think a lot has happened. We started the tag last year October officially. I mean, the process took half a year, so we are quite a bit in the making, but I think this year a lot has happened in terms of building the community, having like an actual tag, an actual team to progress environmental sustainability in the CNCF. And I think it would be good to, I don't know, jump back in time for a bit, maybe at KubeCon EU, just observe us how we talked about ideas at the meetup. I remember we had like this in-person meetup, which was way too early, like at 8 a.m. or something. And then it was like 4.5 hours, and we just discussed, brainstormed in Amsterdam ideas, how we can push things. And I think one of the ideas was the Cloud Native Sustainability Week, if I remember correct. So some ideas like these, we discussed this at the conference. So I think a lot has happened, a lot more than I just wrote down in these few bullet points. It's also great to see maintainers growing in roles, everybody of us growing in the community, leading the charge, starting new projects, working groups, and seeing new people joining the tag. I think that's great. And I expect in Paris, in KubeCon Paris, we will have sustainability as one of the major themes. And I think this is one of our achievements, I would say, that we pushed this initiative in the community this year, last year, but especially this year, I would say. So I'm very happy with this. Maybe for next year, and we already kind of have this like on the next bullet point, but a little bit more like discussing ideas, enabling more contributors to start projects, also smaller projects, or as part of an existing working group. I think like a little bit more roadmap planning makes sense if we are growing in size a little bit. So this is something that will for sure happen early next year. And then kind of we are preparing ourselves for KubeCon and so on. So yeah, awesome to be in the tag. I think we are doing very well. Does anybody would like to add any words about the recap 2023? I mean, I could have maybe made a couple of slides, put up a couple of pictures, but I didn't have time. So hopefully this will suffice. William.
I think, Leo, you are doing a fantastic job within the tag. And I think you're always, I like particularly the fact that you're always keeping your cool and being very helpful. So I like that very much. I like also what Chris is doing, what has been doing, and how she's growing, and also keeping a lot of the cool and being very helpful. And overall, I just love the tag. I think it's the greener tag of all tags. So great job. That's all. I expect more of the same, to be honest.
Thank you, William. Christina.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to every single member here that has been joining the meetings and participating, and including also you, William. That's so great to see you. Like, I got to know you before in other CNCF initiatives, but like seeing the familiar faces also coming here because you care about the topic is great to see. And by coincidence, today was the Women in Cloud Native meetup 1-year anniversary, and we had a podcast with Nancy where we talked basically about the tag and the sustainability topic, and it was kind of cool to recap on how people like Nancy and others also came in, because we have started talking not too much, but talking a lot about cloud native sustainability and spreading the word, and people kind of, wow, cool, this correlates with what I deeply care about, and then they started joining and contributing. And yeah, I mean, we can even see it in the amount of members that grew. Like just in LinkedIn, I checked recently, like 300 plus members, and we didn't have that page for that long. This is so cool to see that we get that arena to get people involved and to spread awareness. So for many, many, many more years of doing the great and impactful changes in the CNCF and cloud native space. So thank you.
Thank you, Chris. I think most of the followers are because of your post.
Oh, no. That was not to brag. That was just, I think that's cool to see. If people didn't relate to that, we wouldn't get that increase in followers. So that's a very good sign. But thank you.
Ryan?
Yeah, I just wanted to say really quickly, I first heard about the tag during KubeCon in Chicago. That's where my interest initially was from. Joining has been nothing short of impressive, seeing everybody, how talented everyone is here, and not only that, but just how welcoming everyone has been. So I just wanted to reach out and say thank you for welcoming me and the other new members, but it's been really great. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Great to see you joining a lot of meetings. All right, awesome. Yeah. Happy 2023. All right. Let's move to the next one, which talks about 2024 quite a bit, because we are talking about ideas folks proposed. We will just have like a look. Maybe looking at these ideas, we will also come up with more ideas, or more comments, more thoughts. And early next year, we will take a little bit of time, maybe have like a separate meeting to plan around those ideas that we find very interesting and beneficial to pick up. But this will happen next year. Doing this year is too stressful. So we will do this in January, but we can already take a look. So hopefully every one of you already saw this discussion. I sent it a few times in chat. As I said, this is mainly about just talking out loud what the ideas are. These does not need to be already like 100% in line, but just like something that is on your mind. Why maybe you also joined the tag, or something you would like to work in the tag, maybe something which you find missing or something we can improve on. So it's as like a brainstorming meeting, everything kind of can be commented here. So I will just go from the first one to the last one, maybe a little bit more quickly. So we have time for everyone, for every comment. So the first one is from Brian. You proposed something like a certification of software. You commented something about similar initiatives in the building industry, construction industry, where you certify buildings, I suppose. And for us, we certify software based on the sustainability and energy efficiency. And I see also there was from Jakob a comment about this EU energy label. Maybe I think there should be like something similar also in the US, I suppose, or in other countries. There's another comment about how maybe we can break this down, this energy label. And I also commented here that there's like some other initiatives in this space. So I think this is like, in a way, like an obvious one that we want to certify software in a way. But I think just from the responses, I see. I think there's like a lot of folks resonating with your comment. It's also something that we discussed, I think, like a year, 1.5 years ago, but then we didn't have like I mean, there are like so many ideas and so on. So you need to kind of manage your resources. Right. And the GSF also has a project around this. So I think, yeah, feel free to raise your hand if you would like to talk about anything regarding this. But for me, I think this is definitely something very interesting, which could help projects and the industry and so on. I also think this could be something which kind of aligns with the working group green reviews, that we certify CNCF software, but it's not something that the working group probably will focus on in the near future, because there's a lot of work already planned, which needs to happen. So feel free to raise your hand if you would like to mention about something about this one. I think it's something we can definitely look in our roadmap planning, how it may fit in the next year, how it can be like connected to existing projects, or how we can maybe have a new project around this. Right, there's also the link to the GSF software carbon efficiency rating. So probably, because this is like a larger topic, does not need to be scoped just around cloud native. It could also be like a good collaboration project with us and the GSF. Sam?
Yeah, so I was just thinking about this project. I know we have like quite a lot in the green review already. But isn't it possible for some people to like start this up concurrently or by the side? I mean, maybe it's not everybody that is involved in the first project, maybe, and then the other set of people can also work on this more like a team that is working on several projects at the same time, if that is possible. Or probably we can also like determine the resources we'll need for this and see how far we can go with it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is connected to the working group, I think, or can be connected. But I think if we want to prioritize this, like in the near future, we would spin up something separately, get more folks engaged, trying to get maybe a project around this. Definitely, yeah. If I caught your comment correct, Sam.
Yes.
Right. Ross?
Yes, we're just going to say on NSCR. I think yes, it's definitely of interest to green reviews. I'd see it as a later step after we've kind of started capturing the first metrics. But I think it's definitely one to watch and could be kind of a later goal, maybe past KubeCon for for green reviews. But I think for now we've got quite a full plate.
Yeah, I think so too.
And to add a little bit to that, to Sam's points, if there's nothing, stopping anyone from opening an issue in the Green Reviews repo to track and discuss something that we could add to the roadmap for later. So, yeah, if just opening up the forum. But like Ross said, we do have a tight roadmap until KubeCon Europe, and even though it is a goal to work towards the SCI, there is a lot between now and then until we get there.
Yes. All right. So I think overall, looking at this is definitely, or can be in scope, like depending how you, at the end, write it out, the proposal. I see, William, you also have your hand up.
Thanks. Regarding the work with the green review, well, considering the fact that the GSF is already doing something regarding over this, what Sam was applying. It sounds like who's stopping us from somebody working on the, let's call it the cloud native side of it, making sure that there are our interests within the initiative, and synchronizing that work with the GSF without interfering or stealing, let's say, cycles from Green Review. So what we would have is Green Review maybe checking in to compare results, but it doesn't have to be a blocking item for whoever is working on this Brian's idea. I'm just trying to brainstorm here. I'm not saying that it could be going that way.
Nikki?
That's actually a really great idea. Like the tag in itself could brainstorm and discuss the SCI and how it would apply and be implemented in the cloud native context with cloud native tooling without it necessarily being part of the Green Reviews working group to begin with. I think that when we started discussing this SCI, it led to the creation of the working group. And then that conversation was paused because it was pending the development of the pipeline, etc. And we assumed that it would be part of the Green Reviews working group, which it, hopefully will be eventually. But I think it would be good to resume these discussions as part of the tag. And if folks want to brainstorm ideas, that would be great. And it would really help also the Green Reviews because we do have quite a lot to do the next 6 months. So if that can be a tag activity, that would be really great. Yeah. Thank you, William. Yeah.
Thank you, Nikki.
I also think just like from an organizational point of view, so if the GSF already has these efforts and cloud is definitely like a part or should be like a part of it, it can be a little bit like easier for us to pick it up and if we join their effort in this way. Yeah, all right, sounds good. Let's move to the next one. All right, so this, actually I need to open this comment because, right, this is a comment from Arne. So we published today a blog post about build packs. So if you have not read it yet, it's, I think, very interesting. And there was like one idea around doing like proper measurements around this. So how much does it actually save? So if you have like a Docker file and just host it with Docker, or if you host it with build packs or bundle up it with build packs, can we get like actual measurements for this? Network transfer, compute time, and so on. So I see this a little bit like a research project in a way. I think this can be like applied to a lot of things, almost probably to every, more or less like every blog post or project, comparing, for example, service meshes and so on, getting actual comparisons, actual numbers, working with the maintainers to compare these technologies. I think it's also interesting. Ross?
Yes, I was going to say, because Anna is from Green Coding Berlin, who've been doing kind of measurement for quite a while, and I think there's some overlap, with what we're doing in Green Reviews. I think they have their own tooling, have their own kind of green metrics tool. Whereas we're using Kepler, but I think there's definitely some overlap there. And maybe even we could reach out to them and they could join one of our Green Reviews meetings because they might have some learnings, that we can apply as we build our pipeline.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, also in the comment, and this is also something, Nikki, you mentioned 1 or 2 comments before. So Arne commented, I already have it open, that he's like very interested in picking this up, that he would like to work on this. And I can just like underline what Nikki said, like these things, you can just open up an issue, comment, and we are happy to support on this project. So we don't need to start like a working group around everything. I think this is like a very shortly based, timely based project, or can be a project. And maybe a few folks in the tag are happy to jump on board and help out with this. But maybe this is something we also need to stress a little bit more in the tag, that we don't need to have like a huge process around just doing measurements for build packs in this way. For example, if there are folks actually interested in this, I think this can be a lot of help, or can be very helpful.
On the point regarding the issue, actually it's a discussion, 273. It would be great to have Arne come. Maybe we haven't done a demo in the tag meeting for a while, but maybe we could do a demo of the tool that Green Coding did, the Green Metrics tool. And maybe they could demo how they did the SCI in an automated way, because that would help the tag and the working group.
Yep. I can write it down. I can talk with Arne. I'm sure he's happy to show us what they're working on. Okay. Moving to the next one. Right. This is more or less, I would say, like a similar comment. It's about, I think, like more broader scoped efficiency, deployment, doing measurements, KPIs around image sizes, build times. So a lot of like measurement and so on. Right. And you, William, commented this could be like a byproduct of the working group green reviews effort. I think so too. In a way, I think these two comments also like go in the direction of like more like research focused, not in the way that we are writing like papers or whatever, but that we have like just dive deep into one of these tools and look what like sustainability wise, like what are like exactly like at the end it's like a byproduct of the working green reviews, right? Because we need to do this anyways at some point as soon as we onboard those projects. Yeah, but we could think about having like a working group research at some point, maybe. I mean, if there's like more and more traction, or if folks are very interested in having those, I don't know, writing like a white paper around this tools, maybe this could help. Okay. Next one. Is there a plan to create a sustainability card in the CNCF landscape? So I think everybody knows or saw the landscape at some point. What is it? Landscape 2.cncf.io? No. I don't know. But basically there's like a huge board of tools and projects which are sorted by domain. So for example, databases, or also something like WASM WebAssembly, and so on. So I think this could be something the working group comms could work on, or it could be connected to the landscape document project, which we have already. So Christina and Jochen kind of started reworking the current landscape document that we have right now. Maybe we could then funnel some of these projects into the official CNCF landscape. So I think this is like definitely achievable. Something that we probably will do next year anyways. But it's good that people are actually looking for this. All right, next one is from Sam. Right, this is about time zones and meetings for Asia-friendly time zones. And I agree, this is also something we discussed before. So we discussed this like very early in the tag when we created the tag. But I think now we kind of reach like a bigger scope that we also have a lot of folks also from the Cloud Native Sustainability Week in those time zones. So there's like a higher demand, and I think it makes, or it's like required that we have also like meetings during those times to support like contributors that they can actually contribute to the tag. So this is something we definitely put on the roadmap, something that we hopefully start like as early as possible in next year. But this always, so we need like a host for those meetings, but I think we can see, I think this should be achievable. All right. The next one. So Sam, you're on the call. I have not seen this already. Blue paper. This is also like more research focused, I assume. Sam, would you like to say a few words about this comment, about this idea? Step further with landscape document.
Oh, sorry. Well, I guess it's not my Sam, so it's someone else, I guess. Yeah.
Ah, there's someone. Okay, there's another Sam. I thought it's you, Sam. Okay, that's cool. All right, then maybe we can just push this to the next meeting. So we will walk over those issues, as I said in the beginning.
Maybe
early
we
next-
can link this specific comment to the landscape rework as well. The landscape document reworking issue that we have. So we could, for example, have a discussion on it, so that several people can discover this suggestion as well. I
Sounds
can
good.
probably link it in the other issue.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Christina. All right. Next one is from Nikki. All
Right. This one is generally, I think in conversations I've had, there's been a big focus on having specific numbers or use cases to show carbon reductions or energy reductions, and how measures relate to savings in carbon or energy. And I think it would be great to highlight more of the use cases. For example, I know like IBM did a talk at SustainabilityCon earlier this year, which showed that they managed to save, I don't know, X amount of energy by like with Kepler, for example. And that was one of the clearest examples of Kepler, or any kind of energy or carbon related implementation in prod achieving some results. And so I think it would be great to find more ways to highlight those. I think, well, already we're doing the survey with Linux Foundation Research as part of the effort for KubeCon Europe. So that's going to be one way of achieving this. But yeah, I wanted to put this out there, that I think 2024, it would be great to highlight those use cases as much as possible. And maybe we can make time in the regular meetings for more demos. I think we've done a lot of demos for tooling, like new tools or features or what have you, but maybe we could do demos of things that have worked. And I'm conscious that people can't show maybe absolute numbers of anything they've done in their own in their day work, but yeah, it's kind of an open question. I would love to hear more from you what you think about this, but I think it would really help in the industry as in general.
I think like a lot of companies have like a page how, I don't know, this company uses our products and so on. So there's also, I think, from the CNCF, from end users, sometimes like blog posts and videos, how this company uses CNCF software. So maybe actually we could just use over the CNCF the channels to contact end users so they can talk about their cloud native sustainability journey or something. But I think we could approach this like in the many different ways. It could also be like very interesting to extract from those stories kind of like ideas, guidelines at the end, how you can transform your business in a way. Could be also very interesting, could be impactful. William?
Is it an idea to put out a call to action to actually gather those user stories instead of going actively out to look for them, but through the CNCF, put out an end user call for collecting green, sustainable user stories?
Yeah, I think that's something we could target, or maybe could target for KubeCon Paris.
I think it would be great.
I mean, maybe we could also have like interviews at KubeCon with some people, if the community would like to do that.
Yes,
Maybe
we can.
All right, let's write this down. I will do it. Any more ideas how we can extract kind of the ideas Nikki proposed here into like actions, so to say?
I think one action would definitely be to ensure that we have a kind of a plan, a content plan for that we can communicate and spread the word about, that we are gathering this type of input, so that we can kind of do a combination of what William also suggested, that we both get help from CNCF to gather the user stories, but also ourselves kind of create and continuously communicate someplace where people, the end users, can reach out and submit their, or not submit, but at least like share with us the story in maybe multiple formats. Maybe not everyone is comfortable with presenting, but for example, having it like a write-up, like a blog post or something.
All right.
So this is for the for the working group comms, I think would be an important action item as well.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like every organization, anytime they have like a significant progress with at least energy consumption or energy efficiency, they tend to like publish that because that is what the public wants. So I think from our end, it's more of like aggregating these different data together and then like publishing it as the overall goal of what the different projects under CNCF has achieved.
Yeah,
I think that would, yeah, there's like the industry level, which you just mentioned, and then the like company use case example at that level. And so I think we should target both levels. For the industry-wide thing, I think the research, the Linux Foundation research survey would be really helpful, and I hope if we can do it right with their help. the Green Software Foundation is really good at highlighting examples from specific companies also. That's one of the inspirations for me, is their blog has interviews with people who've implemented some of the solutions internally in their own orgs, and then they kind of give like a summary of how they did that, what went well, what didn't go well, and what kind of savings they achieved. So definitely something to collaborate with on with working group comms. And I don't know if that's a Green Software Foundation collaboration opportunity as well, but maybe.
William?
Nikki, it's going to be a little bit of a weird question and a multifolded one, but are you looking only at one type of user stories, meaning how they implemented sustainable projects, or are you also looking at user stories of why they don't want to or they can't implement sustainable solutions?
It's a good question. I think I was intending to highlight some of the wins, but I think highlighting the blockers is equally as important.
I feel it would be a more comprehensive picture for the audience, and also interesting, of course.
All right. There's also what you mentioned, Nikki, about tag meetings, that we could also invite them to present. I think we can try it out, but we will see if there's like a lot of value to folks in our meetings, like getting knowledge from those discussions. Maybe like talking about projects is a little bit more helpful, but we can try it out for sure. Could be like a new format, something. Yeah. All right, moving to the next one. We also have just 10 minutes.
I can
yeah.
I can bring this one forward, Leo, if you want. Matteo asked me to bring this one forward. So CubeTrain, and you guys are all aware of CubeTrain, what it is and what's happening, and it's actually going on. Matteo and Andrea would like to bring this, would like to give, to have your opinion or our opinion, to have the CubeTrain becoming as a working group, having all the whistles and bells of a working group, and to create more sensibility and to create more input into CubeTrain for whenever KubeCon occurs. I have put in also further comments in, but actually you have it there, so you have all everything there.
So right, there was like we already had like a discussion some time ago about CubeTrain and how it's like a fit with the tag, and in a way, I think so there's like this not a problem that we have. I think a lot of our contributions are sourced because all of us are very passionate about like sustainability and we want to change something, and this is like our drive, where we also contribute to sustainable software. And CubeTrain is like an initiative where we talk about sustainable software, maybe or maybe not, like depending how folks are running the train, kind of. So it's like closer to activism than to our tag in a way. So you could look at this like it's not like a fit for the tag because we are a technical advisory group and not like an activist group in the CNCF. But you can also, and I think we made this experience with the Cloud-Native-Sustainability Week, which was more technical focus because everything that we discussed was about technical stuff. So it was basically like a virtual meetup or like a meetup in a lot of different places. but a lot of, I think, folks attending those meetings maybe were also just passionate about how can I make like a difference in the sustainability aspect, and now they are aware of technical things. So I think from the activism, the initial source was like an activism background, but now it's kind of translating over to doing something, contributing, doing something technical. So this could also be the hope with Cube Train, that people are just getting aware because they have like an kind of like an activism mindset, without being too strong with this word, but and then kind of going over to like a technical sense. But yeah, I think we can, or we should discuss this early next year in January, also with Max and Marlo. I know they have, both of them have a little bit different opinions about this, pro and contra in a way. So let's see if this makes sense. I think it would be good for the effort, because the tag has a little bit more structure, like a contributor base. We kind of have like our meetings and everything. So I think this could help just have like a stable project similar to the working group green reviews. So let's see. All right. I will just move down. Okay, we have a couple of more comments. So actually my assumption was wrong. We don't have too much time. Let's see where we end up. All right, the next one. Is this, William, is this okay as an answer? Because I mean, at the end, we will
Yeah,
need
yeah,
to
yeah, absolutely. It's okay. It's okay, Leo.
All right, sounds good. Awesome. Moving to your topic. You also commented this in Slack some time ago.
Yep. Yes. So to make it as short as functional as possible, the idea is that a lot of most of the efforts that I see around for to greenify, let's say, workloads is just it lies around well, let's say the highest percentage lies around on where can I drop my workloads, in what region is greener, my workload is greener, rather than how can I optimize my code, how can I make sure I use a different instance or a different CPU, different memory, and all these things. I've seen the calculator for green algorithms from the guys at GSF. I think they are involved as well with GSF, if I'm not mistaken. They have put together is this sort of awareness, a software aware of where is running. Therefore, you can understand what is the POE and what is the most likely CO2 emission. And that's very interesting, of course. What I would like to do is build a sort of reference framework where something can compare itself to that framework and say, this is what most likely I am consuming because I'm running here. And that here can be this rack, this server, this city, or this country, and because I'm using these resources. So it goes a little bit beyond the REPL, which is obviously necessary, but we have published POE from vendors like Intel, like AMD, ARM, and we could feed that framework and use it as a sort of Rosetta Stone of power utilization and CO2 emission. I feel this is a little bit of a burden for Green Review. While I was thinking through it, I feel that this would not fall into Green Review, but maybe will fall into another project or into a project of itself. Don't know. I just thought that the way we are measuring, or the way we are greenifying active workloads at the moment, there is a lot of research behind, and I don't want to be unkind, but I find it a little bit lazy, because it turns out always to be just move it in a greener area, which normally is Sweden anyway.
Or Norway.
Or
Maybe.
Norway, yes, of course, or Norway, yes. But it's just it's I'm a little bit I'm being a little bit strong, but I'm just saying I think we should do way more.
All right. Very interesting. I kind of feel like this is also like a little bit like research focused. So like the first two topics were proposed. This is also, I think, going in the more research direction, but with actual doing, I mean, research also doing something like writing a white paper or whatever. But this has also like definitely, I think, like a project background. So I would agree this would not fall under the working group green reviews. Probably like a different project or working group even. All right,
Well,
sounds very cool.
I would like to at least to start putting together a POC, let's say, or let's call it MVP, POC, whatever we want to call it, something that might explain better what I have in mind, and then of course we can shoot at it or give it more resources.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely, 100%. All right. We will walk over the rest of them. This one is about food sustainability, which is not really fit. But anyways, we are on time, so we will have. Actually, I need to check the calendar when our next meeting is. I think in the first week of January already. But to proper discuss all of this, I think we will schedule 1 or 2 additional meetings, like we also did in the past about working with green reviews to work milestones and the roadmap and so on. We'll do the same thing for the tag. If you have any more ideas, feel free to just write it down. It does not need to be like a huge, big idea. Also something like we need meetings in a different time zone is very interesting input. I will stop the recording.